This is Pop Culture Yearbook. On this show, we pick pieces of pop culture that were important to us in a given year. We then discuss our memories and dig into those movies, albums, shows, and more. I'm Brad.
I'm Pete. And Giff.
Oh, you guys are trying to
Oh, that was good. That was
Christian
really
Bale
good.
I got some comments on that voice when we get into it. It's been a while since I've watched this, but good job. Good job. I know what you're doing there. It's good.
Thank you. And it's Giff. I'm not Batman.
Oh,
I'm
no,
here.
not
Wait.
tonight.
Are you actually the secret identity? Is it you?
Yes,
This
I'm the
whole
Batman.
time, I think you are the Batman.
I
Wow.
love when they refer to Batman as the Batman. I think it's just I love it.
Well, you must really like the newest movie version then.
the one with
Robert Pattinson.
yeah, where it's the Batman.
Correct.
Yeah. It was okay. I thought the way they filmed it was
Yeah, it
pretty
was really
cool.
cool. It was a good movie.
Yeah, it was all right.
All right, we're here to talk about Batman tonight. We're talking about 2008, and we've done a few kind of serious action type movies before, but it's it's not normally our thing. We're more often talking about comedies, but when it comes to these newer years, anything goes. And The Dark Knight was just a phenomenon in 2008. So we decided we're gonna go for it, honey. And so we're talking about The Dark Knight here tonight. And I guess I'm the one that technically picked it. That's how, we explained last time. It was kind of a joint effort, but this is my movie. So I'll tell you why we're talking about it here. So for me, Batman is my favorite superhero. It's not even close. And the 1989 Batman movie was like, we have an episode on that. And that was my pick for 1989. And it was awesome. And it was great. And it's the thing that made me love like this character. I did... and then they kind of got progressively worse. Although Batman Returns is really good, but the next two, are kind of like whatever. But then they rebranded it with this guy Christopher Nolan, who I knew from Insomnia, and I don't remember what else he had out before this. But Batman Begins came out, and you could feel that this was going to be, a good. It was supposed to be a good version. Like it's gonna be different, but you're gonna like it. What were you gonna say, Giff?
Didn't he do Memento?
Oh, right. I saw Memento too.
And you love that movie.
I love Memento, and I love Insomnia. Was good too. So yeah, I was well aware of him. I really get tired of superheroes, but I think that the reason why Batman is my favorite is because he's not even a superhero. Like he shouldn't even be called a superhero because he doesn't have any superhero qualities. He's
no
just
superpowers.
Right. He's just a rich guy with resources. So it kind of makes it more realistic. And a lot of the times what I don't like about superhero movies is how, ridiculous they can be and the effects. And it's like, it's so dumb sometimes. But when it comes to Batman, like, you just have to believe that this guy has a lot of money and trained himself to be a good fighter. And Batman Begins taught us how he did that. So I love it. And then the hype for this one was huge because it started at the end of Batman Begins when they turned over the Joker card, and everybody's like, oh yeah, because everybody loves the Joker partly because of Jack Nicholson, but he's like the most famous villain. And then you started hearing about Heath Ledger as they were filming it, and it was kind of like the Michael Keaton thing where people didn't like that. They thought he was going to be a bad, person to play the role, and it was controversial, but there was so much hype, and then he dies. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So when this came out, you couldn't wait to see it. And this is a movie that I actually saw in the IMAX at the zoo. So the Minnesota Zoo has a big IMAX theater. And I can still picture going to it. I went with my wife and my brother and our friend Dave, who's on the show a lot. And we, of course, had the tickets ahead of time. And there was big lines outside. We had to make sure we got there early. I still remember feeling like we sat pretty far up front, though, in front of this giant screen. But when it was over, we all loved it. We talked about it. It lived up to the hype, which doesn't always happen. And so it was great. And it was like an event. And it was an event movie, and that's going to be our draft tonight. So that's why we're talking about it. There was a lot of fun and memories that went along with this movie.
I agree that it's a good movie. Definitely lived up to the hype and everything. But I do have a couple of complaints about it too.
Oh, good. Let's hear them.
We'll
get to it.
Yeah. Do you want to hear them now or?
Well, I thought you were going to do it when we got there.
Just okay,
whatever you want, Pete.
No, because it kind of ties in. I do remember going to see it in a theater. I think Jenny and I went to it, and just comparing it to the original Batman, which we or not original, but you know what I mean, Michael Keaton Batman, comparing it to that, I just thought that the Michael Keaton Batman was just a more fun movie to sit through.
It is.
And this one, it's good and everything, but it just drags on, and it's a long movie.
It's long.
2.5 hours. It's long for this, but those are really the complaints that I'm referring to. And
I had a
we'll get
busy
into the
week, and it was
details
really
later.
hard to get this in. I had to watch it
I
last
know.
night. I had to watch it in 2 parts because I got interrupted by something, but I got it watched.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
2.5 hours, it's not my thing.
I was able to squeeze it in, but still, but I do have to say, and I know we'll get into it, but I think Joker in and of itself as a grand character, and I'm talking Heath Ledger, Jack Nicholson, all the Jokers, Joaquin Phoenix. I think it's probably the greatest character, one of the greatest characters in cinema history. It's like a coveted role. It's like, okay, we can talk about Michael Keaton. We can talk about who plays Batman, but I feel like that it's actually more important who they get to play the Joker. That is a challenging role to play, and I think that you have to have your best actor in that role, and the most perfect person to play that role. It's not something that anybody can do. You know what I mean?
I agree, and I think that as good as this movie is, if it wasn't for Heath Ledger's performance, it would just be another really good movie, probably. But
Right.
He is the reason why this movie became what it became and was so awesome. Without
Right.
that, it's a good movie, probably, but it's not the icon that it is,
Yeah, absolutely. I don't even hardly think of Batman about this movie. Every time I think of this, I think of Heath Ledger as Joker, and that's definitely the part of the movie I enjoyed the most. But still a good movie. What say you, Giff?
Yeah, I really enjoy the movie. What I like is Nolan's take on the whole trilogy here. That it's super realistic. It's not comic booky like you would have with our much funner '89 Burton, run. So it's much more gritty. It's much more of, instead of a superhero movie, more of a crime drama movie where you're working with, the cops are such a huge part of it. They're not just, like Gordon is not just like a side character who's kind of in the way of what Batman's trying to get done. He's a central figure. Obviously, we've got Harvey Dent, who's, really in this movie, everything rotates around. You've got Batman on one end, you've got Joker on the other, and caught in the middle is Harvey Dent. And which way is he going to go? Is he going to stay on the side of righteousness, or, because the job that he has to do is so difficult and dealing with such horrible people, is he going to drift towards the dark side, if you will? This is during a time in my life I was not going out a whole lot. I had a young kid at home, wasn't really doing too much. So I don't think I saw this in the theater. I watched it last night on DVD. So I do remember getting it on DVD when that came out. But it's so gritty. I just absolutely love it. When we did our draft of TV movie vehicles, I'm pretty sure I drafted the Tumbler. I think that's the best Batmobile. Coming in at a close second is the '89 Batmobile. But I love how it's so utilitarian. It's something that you could see being a real vehicle, something that the Army came up with, so I just love how it's ultra realistic. Like Brad said, that it's also not overly super heroic in that you don't have a lot of CGI effects, very minimal CGI.
It doesn't look fake.
Well, because it's not. When that semi flips over, that's a practical stunt. Like that happened. That's not.
And those explosions are awesome.
Yeah, like they demolished, the hospital. I think was a warehouse or whatever. But that's a real thing. Like they did that. So it's so much fun to see it. And I'm with Brad. Like Batman is awesome because he doesn't have any superpowers, much like Iron Man. no superpowers, just, his biggest superpower is probably his intellect and how he's trying to figure things out because he can't just go, smash stuff. So you could say it's a little more realistic. I have the same chance of becoming a billionaire as I do being blessed with superpowers. So it's still well out of my reach either way, but phenomenal movie. And Ledger is completely unrecognizable.
Yeah.
He embodies this role so perfectly. You don't see Heath Ledger. You just see the Joker, and he is amazing.
Possibly ultimately to the detriment of Heath Ledger, right?
Yes,
because there a lot of people think that he was so into this role that may have caused him to have some mental health issues, which of course eventually he OD'd or died the way he died. So
well, he said himself that at the end of each day of shooting, he was absolutely drained. Physically and emotionally, mentally, just couldn't hardly move at the end of a day.
Jack Nicholson, here's a fun fact. Jack Nicholson actually called him and warned him before they started making the movie that it does have that kind of toll on you. I do want to make another point about why Batman is such an intriguing quote unquote superhero. I also think that he's got the best backstory of any of them, or best origin story, probably the most famous origin story of any superhero for sure. Of course, with him as a kid, parents getting murdered in the alley, and at the theater, and so that's kind of explains why he became who he is. Whereas most other superheroes, Superman has somewhat of a backstory, but it's from another planet. And, I don't think it's as intriguing as the Batman story is because it is so human. It's so human.
Right. It's relatable. That's why I think I like Batman. The other movies can be good and entertaining, but I just, sometimes they're just like, come on.
Yeah. Right. Spider-Man had a little bit of a similar story where his uncle was killed, but it's still not the same as being there and witnessing your parents getting killed on a dark
and
night.
Then as a kid, and then building yourself up, and it's good.
Pulled himself up by his bootstraps with the $1 billion empire. But yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, you can say Superman has a similar backstory in that his parents died, his entire race died. But like you say, it's not relatable. Like we can't relate to our planet exploding and us being the sole survivor of that.
It feels like it could happen any day now.
I was just going to say it still could happen.
At least our country.
And don't get me wrong, I can't imagine my parents being killed in front of me as a young child. But that's something that can happen, and you can feel for that character. And like you say, it's more relatable because he's not a super powered superhero.
All right, so this movie was released on July 18th of 2008. It was the highest grossing movie of the year, the fourth highest ever at the time, and the highest superhero movie at the time as well. One of the co-writers of the movie was Christopher Nolan's brother, which I did not know that his brother, he even had a brother before, and he writes with him. It was the first movie filmed with...
Jonathan, by the way. Jonathan.
The first movie filmed with high-resolution IMAX cameras, and so, like I said, I saw in the IMAX. And as you said, there's not a lot of CGI. They avoided it as much as possible. And, it's much more realistic that way. I loved Jack Nicholson, and so did the people who made this movie. But they wanted to go a different direction. So they wanted a little more scarier, a more unknown type of a Joker here. And that's kind of what led to Heath Ledger. And like you said, Pete, Jack Nicholson maybe even talked to him and kind of warned him, but it's funny because they played it in such different ways, yet it still was so hard on them or took so much out of them to play that role.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sure Gifford, you have some fun facts. I have one more here, maybe, or two, but go ahead and throw something in. That was my initial ones there.
So this was the first superhero movie to win major acting awards. So you had Ledger won both Oscar, I think BAFTA and Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actor.
Posthumously.
Yes, yes, exactly. It was selected to the National Film Registry in 2020, and this was Chicago's your big backdrop for Gotham. It was also filmed in other places, but your exteriors were primarily of Chicago. And this superhero movie also, because it's not just big fights and flying around and smashing things like that, and geared more towards the crime drama. It gets more into the gray areas and the morals, rather than just strictly good versus evil.
Correct.
I mean, there's
Yeah,
all of
it
that
does.
It's
murky.
ambiguous.
Yes, exactly.
And
So
even
you-
so we'll get to the end of the movie, but like it ends in a way that makes you really think too. And it's not like a happy ending or anything. It's a very strong ending. It takes 2.5 hours to get there, but it's a cool ending for a movie like this.
It did also win an Oscar. I had for sound editing. I don't think you mentioned that, right? So
I didn't. I think
Yes,
yes.
and as I listened to this movie, I was like, this must have won an Oscar for sound, and it won one of them. And that's the thing I always love about Nolan movies, the music. Like right off the bat in this movie, in the opening scene, there's music playing in the background. It's just intense.
Menacing.
Yeah, intense music, and it's great. And like that was one of the things I loved Oppenheimer, and it's like that movie for 3 hours went by so fast, and it was just nonstop. And part of it, I think, is because the music is constantly playing in the background, and it's constantly pushing you and keeping you engaged with it. So he's great at that.
Mm-hmm. Pete, did you have any other fun facts? I got one left, but you guys
I got
go
one
ahead.
more too.
I think that's all the fun facts I had for that portion. Yes.
This was a movie that was going to be pirated a lot. There was a lot of people pirating movies and bootlegging movies. And so they actually dedicated 6 months to anti-piracy methods for this movie. And they delivered the film reels in a random way, and the copies had to go through a chain of custody and track who had access. Some theater staff were given night vision goggles to identify if people were recording this in the movie theater. And there was one who was caught in Kansas City.
Was it Jerry Seinfeld?
I was going to say, was it Seinfeld or Kramer?
No. So there was some that got through, but for the most part, they considered it a success because this is movie so like secretive and everything, and they really worked hard to shut down that aspect of the movie there.
Awesome. The last one I have here is one of the tics that you see with the Joker is that he's always licking his lips,
I noticed
and
that.
licking his scars. The reason for that is he needed to keep the prosthetics wet so that they wouldn't come detached and fall off. So he just incorporated that more so into his acting.
And it makes it much more terrifying when that
It's just
happens.
creepy.
It's like a Hannibal Lecter type
Right.
thing, is what I kept thinking every time he did it.
Well, and great way to bring up Hannibal Lecter here. I mean, you think about, Silence of the Lambs. I mean, he's on screen for what, 12 minutes or something in that entire movie, but that's what you remember, even though you have Buffalo Bill, this horrible character. But you remember Hannibal Lecter. This movie,
I think it's 15 minutes.
Is it 15 minutes? This movie,
tough.
you think of the Joker, and that's the main draw to this movie over and over again, is his amazing portrayal.
Did you catch the incorporation of Scarecrow, another Batman villain?
I was just going to go through the cast, and maybe we can throw that in here.
Sure. Sorry about that. I was just
it's a hell of a cast. So you have Christian Bale as Batman in his second round playing. What do you guys think of Christian Bale as Batman? Where does he fall? Do you like his portrayal?
I think yes, but I will say that the voice that we were all just kind of imitating was a little bit overdone, right?
Yeah,
it's too much like this.
Hi.
It was like, come on. It was like Michael Keaton just spoke basically in his normal voice, and
he'd whisper a little bit,
a little bit, but it's like you're still going to recognize if you know him. It's sort of like Clark Kent and Superman. Come on, man. I know that's you, but at least he maybe was trying to disguise his voice a little more, and that was why. But it just felt a little bit overdone to me. But that's again another small complaint.
I don't love what they did to the voice here in this movie. It's I mean, I get it, but I like him more as an actor. I like him more as Bruce Wayne. I like the
Yes.
Bruce Wayne part. I
Yes,
like
he's
that
a
he
perfect
talks normal.
Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, he's really good at the Bruce Wayne part. And, you know, once you get in the Batman costume, I guess, you know, most anybody can really kind of play it, especially if you have the disguised voice on top of it. It's like, who's even in there? But overall, yeah, I like
Right.
him a lot. He's a great actor. I mean, my favorite movie of his is The Fighter, still by far. He's incredible in that movie, but I like him as Batman.
Well,
He
and I
fits
like
the
him in
role
the
and he fits the
Prestige.
movie because, in my opinion, Christian Bale by nature is a bit of a darker actor, darker character. Of course, like American Psycho is what I always think of him in. But he's just a little bit got more of an edge to him than Michael Keaton you think of as doing more comedy roles. And it's not like it was a comedy role in Batman, but he was a little bit. He's a lighter person, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, and he had worked already with, or well, I guess Batman Begins was first, but he's had a history with Christopher Nolan, as
Yeah.
Gifford said, The Prestige and others as well, I think, right after that.
Mhm.
We have Michael Caine, Alfred, who I never was a huge Michael Caine fan, but I do love his voice. Like, what a great voice to try to imitate in this
Obviously,
movie.
you've never seen Jaws 4 then, Brad.
Oh,
Or
the
Dirty
Revenge.
Rotten Scoundrels.
Well, Dirty
Yeah.
Rotten Scoundrels is the movie really that I know him from. And as
Mhm.
you might know, that's one of my least favorite Steve Martin movies. Like, it's okay, but I don't love it. I don't watch it very hardly ever. So
Ruprecht.
yeah, I know. It's good. But I do like listening to him talk. His voice is cool. His accent is just, it's fun to listen to. And he's a good Alfred. I like him in this movie a
He's
lot.
great, Alfred. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
love
thought
that
he
he
was
was
perfect for the role.
introduced as Alfred in the first one. I think your side characters in these movies are just so rich and perfectly cast and
Well, and
wonderful.
this list
So
of people is so then you get
Yeah.
to Gary Oldman, who's one of the best actors of our generation, man. I mean, I've been watching Slow Horses lately, and I mean everything the guy does is incredible. And so you get him as Commissioner Gordon here, and I love his role too, because like you root for him, but he's not like infallible. He's not like this big, strong, everything I do is right. You know, he's got a realness to him. And and that's part of what Gary Oldman, he makes such great characters. So I love him too.
yeah, completely agree. He's like you said, he's not, he starts out in this movie as the head of the special crimes unit, but he's not like running around thinking that he's in charge of everything and browbeating people. Like, he's a little more soft spoken, knows that he's got a major job ahead of him and that it's going to be extremely difficult. And he's not, like when he's named commissioner, he's really not happy about it. And yeah, he's just absolutely wonderful.
Anything on him, Pete?
No, I'm good.
Nope. Okay. All right. We already talked
I'll
about
let
Heath
you know if I have
Ledger.
something to say.
So Heath Ledger was controversial. He Brokeback Mountain was before this. Obviously, that was a huge movie and a kind of a career-defining type of movie and role. But even with that, he wasn't seen as he can't play the Joker. Who is this guy? And then of course he just kills it. So
Yeah, I mean, I've said all I
mean,
have.
enough said, right? Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
amazing.
who is better? Because you always think Jack Nicholson versus Heath Ledger. It's a tough call. Who's the better Joker?
I don't
Different
because I think
movies.
they play it so differently that like they're
Right.
equally awesome. Like there's no
Well, I
reason
don't-
to say one's better than the other.
Well, and Jack's Joker is supposed to be more campy and a
Yeah.
little bit slapstick. Like he played that wonderfully. I mean, yeah. So I'm not going to say that one's better than the other because you're not playing the same game. Yeah, you're the same character by name only. So
Or Joaquin Phoenix. You could throw him into the mix too, into that same conversation.
Yeah.
I thought he did a fantastic job in the first Joker movie. I didn't like the second Joker movie itself, but I thought his.
Oh, you saw it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
I did not
and it's
see
not
it.
as
I heard it was so bad I would never watch it. But I actually liked the person more than most people and thought he was amazing. He was awesome in it.
I love the first one. The second one, it was a musical. It was like a dark kind of musical.
Oh, I heard
Because
nothing but
Lady Gaga
crap
was
about
in
it.
it, and
I know,
it was
yeah. pass.
that's which I got nothing against either one of those individuals, but it
No.
just wasn't as enjoyable.
Yeah, it just All right, then you have Gifford kind of said the movie revolves around Harvey Dent, and so this was a very important casting. And Aaron Eckhart, which I don't know, man, what happened to this guy? Because he really had a run, and he's cast most because he's supposed to be this all-American. He's a very handsome guy.
Yep.
And like I had seen him in a lot of movies back in the 90s. There was a couple small movies, In the Company of Men and Your Friends and Neighbors, that I saw. And then he was in Any Given Sunday and Aaron Brockovich.
Thank You for Smoking.
And then Thank You for Smoking, which I saw. And then, you know, after that, he gets this big role. And I don't know that I've ever seen him in anything since. And I'm looking through his list, and nothing really stands out
Sully?
since this movie.
I mean, he was the co-pilot in Sully. He was really good at that.
Yes,
But yeah,
I did see Sully. That was pretty good.
I completely agree with you, though. I mean, where did this guy go? He's obviously got leading man looks, and he's a wonderful actor. Like, whoa, come on, man! Like,
he's been working, but just not in big, well-known things. But he's great in this movie. I had kind of forgotten the role, so I kept thinking that, because I know, you know, what happens, the Two-Face thing. But I forgot that he truly is noble and like supposed to be the perfect, like he's a great guy, and the way he works with Gordon and Batman, and I mean, it's really cool to see how they work together, and you know, he really is not out to like win anything or be better than anybody. So he does a great job, and then when he loses half his face and turns, you know, it's frightening.
Well, it's a more complicated character, and it sort of ties into. I mean, obviously, it's deliberate that he has those complications. Is he a good guy or a bad guy? That's Two-Face,
right? And he doesn't even know within his own body.
Right.
He's having a hard time figuring it out. They're looking for that all-American guy. So a couple people that were considered for this role were Josh Lucas, Ryan Phillippe, and Mark Ruffalo. So again, I don't know what you guys think of them, but I like all three of those actors.
I like Mark Ruffalo, but I don't see him. I like him the best, but I don't see him in this role.
I don't either. I think you got to have a taller guy, and Aaron Eckhart's, at least he looks taller. I don't know what their actual heights are, but Mark Ruffalo's kind of shorter. I think of the guys you named, Aaron Eckhart is by far the best choice. I'm not a big fan of Ryan Phillippe. Probably because he stole Reese Witherspoon from me, you know. So
that could be. Yeah, you still got a beef with him. I agree. I think Eckhart is the proper choice for this out of those four. And he plays it so well. I absolutely love it.
And then you have his girlfriend, Maggie Gyllenhaal, and I think she was kind of controversial too. I think there's a lot of guys that don't really like her. They either don't think she's good looking enough, or they didn't. I didn't really find anything this time, but I sure remember thinking I heard a lot of stuff about her and some backlash. But I thought she's pretty good. I have no problem with her in this movie, and she does a nice job.
Well, in Batman Begins, this is played by Katie Holmes.
Yeah.
Who myself, my own personal taste, I would rather watch Katie Holmes, but Maggie Gyllenhaal to me is a much better actress than Katie.
Yeah.
So,
and there's something interesting about her look, that she's maybe not hot, whatever you want. But like I don't know. Her face is. I like looking at her. Like I like her face, and I think that, you know, she does have a presence.
She has a class to her
that other people might not.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, then we haven't got to Morgan Freeman yet. Morgan Freeman's in this movie, and he's in the mid 2000s. Like, he's everywhere. He's narrating everything, and he's been Bruce Almighty before that. He's all over the place. Right. He's God. So, you know, you can't go wrong with Morgan Freeman. And he's a good one because he kind of pushes back against Bruce Wayne, and he kind of a foil to him at the end there. But, you know, he's kind of that moral maybe center.
I was going to say, questions the morality of the darker side of Batman.
Yeah.
Yep. I love Morgan Freeman in this. One of my favorite, I guess, characters you could call it in cinema is whoever's playing Q in the James Bond movies. I love that this is Batman's Q. He's the guy who comes up with all the wonderful toys. And I also like, smart characters. This guy has brains upon brains upon brains, right? Like, you ask him a question, he knows exactly what everything is and where it goes. And, you know, he portrays such not only a technically smart, but great businessman as well. So I love Lucius Fox in this trilogy as a whole.
He raises the question of surveillance versus security, right? That's where it's like, at what point do you sacrifice security? It's those two kind of opposite ends of the spectrum.
Right.
Well, not surveillance versus security, but I guess surveillance versus privacy.
Yeah.
Surveillance in the name of security. And so that's always a major talking point when you think about big government and 1984 kind of stuff, right? So,
correct.
The mayor of Gotham is Nestor Carbonell, who maybe you wouldn't know by name, but I love this guy.
Yeah.
And at this exact time, he's playing Richard Alpert on Lost, which is like, I always think of him from Lost, but he's got those dark eyes. Like, he looks like he's wearing mascara. He's a great mayor because you're talking about a handsome man. Like, he's got a look to him, but he's great. He has a much bigger part than I kind of remembered. And I like his role here, and I like that he's on one of my favorite shows.
That's the second time in this episode, by the way, audience, that Brad has rated a dude.
That's right.
So if you're keeping score at home,
I'm secure in who I am.
Yeah, and I'm not going to argue with his ratings. To be honest,
he's a good-looking guy. Come on,
I'm a little jealous, as is my wife. Let's be honest, of the guys playing these roles. Yeah.
Eric Roberts is one of the kingpins of the mob, and so he's got a pretty big part here. He's got an interesting look. These guys have good looks. They have a good look for their roles. Like, he looks like
three.
I didn't say he's good looking, although he's got a good look for, he looks kind of menacing, but like normal at the same time. Like, he's a good cast, I think.
Okay. Yeah, and he kind of gives a what's the Hamilton? What's the best tan in the biz? Who am I thinking of?
What?
Oh, I know who you're talking about. George Hamilton.
George Hamilton. Like, he's just got such a beautiful tan to him. Eric Roberts does. He just looks, he looks classy. He looks like, the old school criminal, kingpin type that you would see in, say, the '89 Batman. He could totally play, the Jack Palance type role from '89.
And then we had Pete alluded earlier to the Scarecrow. So Cillian Murphy, who's become one of the go-tos for Christopher Nolan, he has a little part at the beginning in this movie after coming off of being the villain in Batman Begins. So we see a little bit of a callback to him there.
Yep, right. It's very short. Was Scarecrow in this one? I didn't remember Scarecrow being in this one when he first appeared, because it'd been a while since I've seen this. But I was like, wait a second. But then he never came back as Scarecrow again.
Just wanted him in there just to, go from, the end of the last one to the beginning of this one.
The only other one I wrote down is that Anthony Michael Hall is in this movie, but I guess I didn't even notice where he was. I missed out on it.
He was?
He's the main reporter. Like, so when you see him on the news, he's the news anchor. He's always the guy on the TV for is it GCN?
Yeah, Gotham
News. Yeah. So he's the anchor of GCN.
So of course we love Anthony Michael Hall here at Pop Culture Yearbook. So
how can't?
Of course we do. Yeah.
Yep.
Anybody else you want to throw in? I think we hit the big ones.
I've got a couple smaller ones.
We know Gifford.
Yeah, well, I got one smaller. William Fichtner.
Yeah, I like that guy right at the beginning.
Love that guy. He's the bank manager who, with the shotgun, who goes after the robbers.
Another guy with a cool look. Like, yes. I like that. Yeah.
Yep.
Instantly recognizable.
And then the other one that I've got it's an uncredited role for him, but Nicky Katt is riding shotgun.
Dazed and Confused.
Yep. And the tough guy in Dazed and Confused. He's riding shotgun on the caravan where they're taking Dent from City Hall down to the jail, and the Joker attacks the caravan. He's the guy basically commenting in the shotgun position there, riding shotgun. So noticed him. Had to make a mention of Nicky.
All right. Well, we've talked a lot about the movie already, but I do have a synopsis here. I did a little different this time. So I'm a teacher, and they keep trying to push AI on us, and I just don't know how to use it, and I don't want to. But I've been busy, and last night when I was doing some stuff here, Google Gemini popped up, And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try this out. We're going to
I like
start
Google
doing a
Gemini.
Google Gemini AI 1-paragraph summary.
Our new sponsor here at Pop Culture Yearbook.
Yeah. So it keeps it short, and we'll see how they do. Is it accurate or not? So follow along here. If you don't know the movie very well, or you guys tell me what we're missing. In The Dark Knight, Batman, Police Lieutenant Jim Gordon, and District Attorney Harvey Dent form an alliance to dismantle Gotham City's organized crime. Their efforts succeed until a nihilistic and sadistic criminal mastermind known as the Joker appears, intending to prove that even the most honorable man can be corrupted by pushing the city into chaos. After the Joker kidnaps Rachel Dawes and Harvey Dent, Batman attempts to save Rachel, but is tricked into saving Dent, who is left disfigured by an explosion. Consumed by revenge, Dent becomes the villainous Two-Face and goes on a killing spree against those he holds responsible for Rachel's death. Batman ultimately stops the Joker and prevents his final act of chaos, rigging 2 ferries with explosives to force passengers to destroy each other, but only after the Joker corrupts Dent. To preserve Dent's image as Gotham's heroic White Knight, Batman convinces Gordon to let him take the blame for Dent's crimes, ensuring that hope for a better Gotham remains. Pretty good, right?
Not
Pretty
bad.
good. Well written, accurate. It didn't really explain what happened with the 2 fairies, which is
it leaves that out a little bit.
Because you're left, if you just go off of that synopsis, you're thinking that did they kill each other, or
Well, it sounds like Batman
which they
stops
didn't.
them, and really it's much deeper because they show the people on the boats and the stress
They're
they have over
conflicting.
what to
Mhm.
do, and so yeah, that's the part to kind of miss. But that's a really good scene, and we'll talk about a few of our favorite scenes here. So
I mean, it was
Yeah.
all right. I would have rather heard the poignant prose of a seasoned English teacher. But-
sometimes you just got to try out new things, and maybe we'll get a advertiser out of it.
There you go. Hey, why not?
If we get
Give it a
Google on
shot.
our backs, we got the sky's the limit here.
You can't argue.
All right,
All right.
so I'll just throw out, early in the movie, there's a scene that everybody loves. It's the Joker pencil disappearing joke, and then you really meet him though in this scene. And to
Mhm.
me, the thing that stands out about the Joker the most after he makes that like shocking, want to see him make a pencil disappear and he puts it into the guy's eye, is I love his voice. I think Heath Ledger's voice, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like it's kind of high pitched, but it's just
It's both. It's low and high. I mean,
yeah, and
yeah.
it's so cool, and I think that's a big part of what works for his portrayal.
Well, and I love when he says, the one guy says he's crazy. He says, "No, I'm not." Like that, the way he enunciates that T at the end of "not" is, and it
He's
just
kinda
the-
like,
the stare that he's got going.
He's kind of like Kevin Kline in A Fish Called Wanda. Don't call me stupid.
Right?
Don't call me crazy.
Right? Yeah, exactly. One thing from this scene here, I did write down a line that I really enjoyed, that I think we need to take to heart here at PCY. If you're good at something, never do it for free.
That's good advice.
Oh, that is good advice.
Yeah. So should probably take that to heart a little bit here, but yeah,
Well,
I
we
think
do.
it's-
We're not good at this, I guess, but we do it for free, and
We literally pay to do it.
yeah, that's true. It's actually
we're
it's
so
not free
back
for
in the
anybody.
hole. I did want to bring up another line that I like early in the movie when we see the Scarecrow and there's the 2 bad groups coming together, whatever, and Batman comes onto the scene, and you got the Batman impersonators with guns, and the one guy yells at him, why are we different, or what gives you the right? How come you're different from me? And Batman, as he's getting into the Batmobile, goes, "I'm not the one wearing hockey pads." I mean, it's such an elitist thing. Like, yeah, I've got
wearing hockey pads.
I've got Kevlar, infused, carbon fiber armor, and you're in hockey pads.
It's a little less funny though with that voice. I'm not the one wearing hockey pads.
So, well, you know what? One thing I thought of because the opening scene is the bank heist, right? Or one of the opening scenes.
So good.
But you know what it reminded me of?
That was one of the scenes shot in the high-res IMAX, because not the whole movie was shot with those cameras. About, I think, 28 minutes of the movie was, and that opening scene was one of them. And Nolan wanted to show that, okay, we're in a different movie here. This is going to be that much cooler for these beginning scenes. Sorry, Pete, go ahead.
What movie did that bank scene remind
Quick
me
Change?
of? It almost exactly like. No.
No? Well, there's
More
clowns.
ridiculous.
Oh, you're looking for a more ridiculous movie?
Yeah.
Point Break?
No.
Oh yeah, Point Break would
I don't
with
know
the
that. I
masks.
mean,
The bank, for some reason, and maybe if I compare them, it's not, but I thought the bank and kind of the way the scene went reminded me of the opening scene in Naked Gun, the new Naked Gun with Liam Neeson.
Oh, I've not
With
seen
that
that.
bank heist where
okay.
he turns into the Girl Scout. That whole
I can
the
see
bank
that.
scene
I wouldn't
there.
have thought of that, but I get what you're going
It just I'm like, God, that's what popped into my head.
So I love the start of the movie. I love a good heist movie. So
Yes.
the way this starts, and you got guys getting picked up, and then guys going across, on a high line to get to the roof of the building, and one guy shoots. It's just such a cool scene. But one thing we hear from the Joker throughout this entire movie is he's an anarchist, right? Like he talks about how guys like Harvey Dent and Batman and society in general has plans, and what happens when plans get turned on their ear. He's not a planner, he's not a schemer. That's bullshit. Like he plans this perfectly.
It has to be planned. I mean, how do you blow up that hospital with all that stuff?
Right, perfectly planned heist. The hospital. How do you get all these barrels of gasoline and diesel on the ferries? And the buses getting the people out of the hospital so you can.
I think what he means is that he has a plan, but he doesn't. The outcome is like not for anything, right?
Sure, but
and then at the end, he's talking.
Like, what's the end game?
At the end, he's talking to Harvey Dent, and he says, "Do I look like a guy with a plan? I'm a dog chasing cars. I wouldn't know what to do with one if I caught it. I'm an agent of chaos." So I think he's plans out the bad things, but there's no point to them. There's no end game. It's just
there is a point to them. The point is to watch the world burn. I mean, but to say you're not a schemer, to say you're not trying to accomplish something, and then when he burns his half of the money, it's not about the money. That's bullshit too, because all of your henchmen, they're not true believers. They're not doing it like you are. Like they want to get paid for all this stuff. Like how many people does it take to put all of these plans into motion? Like they're not doing it for free just for the shits and giggles of it like he is. So, I feel it's a little strange that he thinks that he doesn't need money to pull off all of this chaos.
So in the 89 Batman, Joker has every dance of the devil in the pale moonlight, and he's got things he repeats. That's here too. His line here is, "Do you want to know how I got my scars?" And he's always got a different story. And so the first time he tells the story, you think it's, but I love, you get the big line there, "Why so serious?" which is one of the best lines of the movie, and it's lived on in how many different ways after that. So
that was my next point, is how that was so much incorporated into the marketing of this movie. And do you remember that when it came out? That was like the whole thing, how they put it on. That was the line they put in commercials, on ads, everything. So I think it was on cell phones.
It's a good line.
Yeah. And well delivered.
So another scene that I thought was a good one is the big party at Wayne Tower when Joker crashes it. And there's the couple lines in there that I like, is when Rachel talks back to him and he says, "You got a little fight in you. I like that." And then Batman shows up. "Then you're going to love me."
Yeah.
And but it ends up with him hanging her out the window, and he says, "Let her go." And he's like, "Oh, very poor choice of words." And he drops her, and then Batman has to go save her. I mean, the whole interaction with them there is great. There's good lines. And that's a scene that I enjoy there.
So one of the weird things about that scene, of course, Rachel gets dropped out the window. She's sliding down the building. He catches her. They land on a taxi on the street. Well, the Joker's still up in the penthouse.
Yeah, I know. And then they never go back to what happened up there.
Right. Like
the scene just ends.
The party's still happening up in the penthouse with the Joker.
That is a question I had as well. What happened? Well, I mean, we just move on to the next day after that.
You're overthinking it.
So
I think that's a pretty good question.
So one of the scenes that I really love was before this, and this is where Batman goes global, where he goes to Hong Kong to extradite Lau from this office building to bring him back to Gotham. And just the way that, you know, everything's just planned out. He's got his little exploding things on the building that he shoots first, and he takes that big dive off of one building, flies across, and kicks the crap out of all these people. I think that's such a cool scene because he's not just in Gotham. He's not your, you know, neighborhood Spider-Man, if you will. He, you know, gets out and goes into the world to go after bad guys.
You mentioned, you kind of alluded earlier to the big chase scene with the big tanks and everything. That's a great scene. You got the helicopter crash. You've got Batman joining in the middle of it. They're transporting Joker, and he ends up getting arrested.
Eckhart, yeah.
That's an awesome scene with some great, whether they're effects or real things, like you said. I mean, it's so cool there. And the other thing is, here's what I hate about superhero movies is the fight scenes and things drag on forever. Nothing felt like that here, even in a 2.5 hour movie. Like these kind of scenes, and maybe because they're not effects, like they don't drag on. This chase scene, what happened here, it didn't seem long. It was good. It was like in and out the way I like it anyway.
That's my biggest pet peeve about Transformers and
the worst.
the Avengers.
Yeah.
Any of the Marvel MCU movies.
So long. And then there's another fight scene after that when it lasted 10 minutes. Like, oh my God, we get it.
Well, and like MCU is one thing because you can tell who's who. In Transformers, you can't tell which robot is which when they're twisting around and fighting and doing, you know, it's like you can't even tell what's going on. So, yeah, I completely agree.
Nor does it look real in any of those movies. None of it looks even close to real, like at least it does in this movie.
How cool is it when the, I guess the Bat bike bursts out of the tumbler, and now the two front wheels from the tumbler are the two wheels for the bike, and how, oh my God. And then how he comes flying out of the building, but now he's moving sideways and the wheels are tumbling rather than spinning. I mean, God damn it. Those are some really cool images.
Some wonderful toys.
Yeah. And then you've got that scene where, you know, after the truck flips and the Joker crawls out of it and Batman's coming back at him with the bike, very reminiscent of 89 Batman, where he's swooping down in the bat plane, the bat wing, trying to blow up the Joker and misses, and the Joker, you know, shoots his
that when
plane,
he pulls that big long gun out of his pants.
The big long gun out of his pants. So, I mean, I liked how that felt like a similar scene from 89.
So Joker actually gets arrested. I kind of forgot about that, which I mean, I haven't seen it in a while. There's a couple good parts there, but there's a line they say more than once, and I have a question about this.
Okay.
Eckhart, well, Gordon and Dent. Well, not Gordon because he's supposed to be dead, but Dent and whoever they keep saying the phrase "close to the chest." Isn't it close to the vest?
It's vest.
I know. Why are they saying that?
I don't know.
And they repeated it twice.
Well, you know, the vest and the chest, they're right together. So
I know they are, but it's close to the vest. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not crazy.
Well, you know, how many people wear vests anyway? I mean,
it would be like saying nip it in the butt or chopping at the bit. You know, I mean, it's right. That's what I'm saying. Like saying it wrong. You know,
I could care less.
I
hate how people say I could care less.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect them to say it wrong in this movie. You'd think, you know, they're going to have dialogue. So anyway, I just wanted to know if I was the only one that noticed that or what.
No.
But Batman goes to question Joker, so this is great because you got one-on-one there, and of course you get the great line, the rom-com referral. You complete me. I mean, I love it when he says that. And then I just want my phone call. Those are, God, he's good. He's so good, and those lines are just.
That was the best scene, I think, with Joker.
Well, because he's explaining that they need each other. Yeah. Like one doesn't exist without the other. And that was one of the things from 89, again, like who made who. They had that argument, Batman and Joker, about who came first. I made you, you made me. These two need each other. The Joker is born from Batman. And, you know, one of the points of this movie with the terroristic acts of Joker is the escalation, a continued escalation. So you've got crime is rampant, so Batman needs to come in to fight that. Well, then you have the next escalate. Why can't I say
escalation?
Escalation with the Joker now coming in as a direct result of this heightened crime fighter. So one can't exist without the other. And the Joker makes a great point. He said, they like you now while you're convenient and you're doing things that they can't do.
Yep.
But as soon as I'm gone, they're putting, they're going to put you in jail. Like you're not going to be useful anymore. You need me just as much as I need you.
Yeah.
That sort of duality. That duality is common in almost all Batman movies, and is wrapped into one character in Two-Face.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. I think you have probably two more pretty great scenes here that we should hit on. One is maybe the best scene is when the Joker gets out and he threatens to blow up the hospital on live TV. This is where he tells Dent, "Do I look like I have a plan?" But when he walks out of that hospital wearing the nurse's outfit, and the story is right that there was a mistake there.
Yep.
When it didn't blow up at first, and he turns around and they just kept filming and kept it that way. I mean, I've read that multiple times, right?
Yep.
But that's such a cool scene. It's a great explosion, but the use of there's no sound there for that little split second. And and then when it explodes, it's huge. The use of sound there and the way that he looks at his little trigger, like what's going on. And he's wearing a dress. It's fantastic.
See, I was waiting for you to comment on his looks at that point, weren't you, Pete?
Yeah.
I mean, we got a guy in a dress.
Exactly.
I figured Brad was going the whole way on this.
I'm keeping a tally.
Just don't tell Pete Hegseth I'm talking about that.
Exactly. We will
doesn't
keep
like
that. Yeah, this Pete is much better than that Pete.
Thank you.
And then the other big scene.
We're both native Minnesotans. Anyway, go on.
The other big scene is the two boats, and I think I think it's pretty cool how they include all these people on the boats and show the conflict they have. These just random characters that have nothing otherwise to do with the movie, but they get enough time and enough lines to make you really feel like what they're going through, and you wonder what they're going to do. And it's kind of nice when nobody does. The coolest part is when the big criminal comes up and asks for the thing because nobody will blow it up, and he's going to do it, and then he throws it out the window and just sits back down.
Yep.
And it's like, if this guy's not going to blow them up, then that's like your moral, like, we actually have hope. Like, that's pretty cool. So
this scene is great in that, of course, in the beginning of the scene, everybody's panicking, saying, blow them up, blow them up. It's that impulsiveness to go to violence. But when you have to sit in it and stew in it, and you see the guy on the one boat pick up the detonator, and the realization of, I'm about to kill everybody on that boat, and that sinks into his humanity, and he can't do it.
Well, and some of them are like, they're all criminals, but they're not all criminals on that boat either. I mean,
which, by the way, this is Zeus, right, Gifford?
This is Zeus, and this is also Demo from Friday. So obviously his criminal ways caught up with him, because now he's on the boat in Gotham. But I did like how he throws it out the window, and evidently the way you detonate it is to turn the key, and the detonator kind of hits the side of the window a little bit on the way out.
I noticed that too. I'm like, I would have just walked to the window and dropped it.
Oh, Brad, that didn't work out the way I planned it.
He's trying to do the right thing, and the key hits the side of the window. He's like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry. That's my bad.
That's my bad."
That's of course when, like you said, the Joker's not a schemer, a planner. He's just doing it so, whatever happens. But here is a scene where something didn't go the way he wanted it to. He was really confused as to why one of those boats didn't explode. And that's where you see kind of the turning here where, humanity, this city, the people of this city aren't going to fall for your, chaos.
It's not going to last if they hear that Harvey Dent went bad. Yes. And so then we have to have the coda here at the end. And Batman, so you brought up before in the 89 Batman how it's different because he killed people, right? Different. He killed somebody. He will not kill people anymore now here. He doesn't kill the Joker. He hangs them up there. We never see what happens after that, right? He's just hanging
to Arkham. He's supposed to be going to Arkham Asylum, right? Like
we don't know who went up and got him. I mean, he's up in
the SWAT team. He gets arrested, and
the SWAT team came in.
But I think that was intended to be a callback, by the way, to the first the Michael Keaton Batman, because it looked like he was going to suffer the same fate by falling off the building.
Yeah.
Also a Die Hard reference, maybe.
Yeah.
And so
Like
I mean, technically though, he does kill Harvey Dent, but it's more like he's doing that to save
the
the
kid.
kid.
Yeah.
But at the end, like they're like, we can't let people know that Harvey did this. It'll ruin our city. And so Batman, our hero, does the most heroic thing of all, and he takes the blame for it, and he says, "Blame me. You're going to have to come and get me," and make sure that they think Harvey is the hero that he's the hero Gotham deserves. Or no, that's Batman. Batman is the hero Gotham deserves, but not the one it needs now. They need
Right.
Harvey Dent right now.
And the line I love from this scene is when the son looks up at Commissioner Gordon and he says, "Dad, why is he running?" And he responds with, "Because we have to chase him."
Yeah, it's a hell of an ending.
God, that's a great line. I mean, just absolutely wonderful. I would like to touch on two things. So I like the story that Alfred tells Bruce Wayne about this bandit in Burma that was stealing all of these jewels, and then they come to find out that he wasn't actually spending any of this money. He just likes to watch the world burn. Did you happen to notice or hear where that forest was where they finally tracked that bandit to?
I did not.
It was just north of Rangoon.
Oh boy, that's kind of like the we should do a live show from Rangoon one of these days. It's becoming a thing for Prop Culture Yearbook here.
We really should. The second thing I wanted to bring
Live
up
from Rangoon. It's Pop Culture.
PCY. Woo! The second thing I'd like to bring up. So Bruce Wayne needs a cover story for leaving town so he can go off to Hong Kong to bring Lau back. Did you notice what his cover story was? It was Love Boat, billionaire absconds with the entire Russian ballet. Total ripoff from the Vikings 2005 Minnetonka Cruise.
I'm sure that's exactly what they were thinking.
Yeah, well, it was only a couple years later, so
it was 3 years later.
Probably right when it was getting made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm just gonna throw that out there.
All right. Anything else on The Dark Knight?
No, I got everything in that I was trying to get through. Yeah, a phenomenal movie. We have to cover this movie this year. I mean,
I'm glad we did. It was fun to watch again.
Yes, it was. Yep.
I think at some point, by the way, we should do the original Adam West Batman movie because that's a lot of fun, actually. That movie to watch. Have you seen it?
Really? What year did it come out?
I used to watch the show, but I've never seen the movie.
Yeah, I think it was like 1968 or something. But if you want to see a movie that is ridiculously comical,
well, that's what the show was. Yeah,
it's fun. It's just ridiculous.
So before we get to our draft, we're not going to end up doing The Dark Knight Rises ever. We've already done this now. But what are your? Because I don't remember that well. I think I might have only seen it in the theater. I remember, I've got to see this. It's the conclusion of the trilogy. It was good, but it was long. Like, I didn't, Bane as a villain, just, I don't really know who he is. Like, it didn't have the pull that the Joker did. So I wouldn't say it was a letdown, but I don't really remember it very well. It's not memorable to me like this one is. What do you guys have as far as The Dark Knight Rises?
I feel that the Batman series, not quite to the degree of MCU, but it's like they just keep going to make it because it makes money, and they almost overdo it, but it's not as good. Kind of a money grab.
Deep, very deep, Pete.
Thanks. I wasn't prepared to talk about that.
Okay, I caught you off guard.
I really enjoyed the movie. Good. I thought that they're wrapping it up. You knew it was the end of the trilogy. So I mean, you've got an older Batman who's struggling to keep up with the physical rigors of his position. The one thing, so they set up this future arc with Joseph Gordon-Levitt as being Robin, right? So that was one thing I would have loved for them to flesh out, I should say. But again, the reason it's great is because it ends, right? Like Pete says, the MCU just keeps going and going and going, and there's TV shows, there's series, and it's
because they're printing
complete,
money with it,
right? It's complete saturation, and nothing really means anything if you have so much of it, So I thought it was a good way to end it.
Yeah, I mean, I think so.
There was some, great scenes, wonderful scenes in it again.
Like I forgot Joseph Gordon-Levitt was in it. I mean, I love him. So I don't remember it. Like it didn't have the impact that even Batman Begins I remember a lot of and really liked. But that third one just kind of like, okay, it's done, I guess.
I've got that one on Blu-ray. I think I might pop it in here and watch some of it because
Which one?
Again, the last one.
The last one.
Dark Knight Rises. So
okay.
Fun movies.
Sorry, I caught you off guard, Pete. I didn't mean to.
It's
do
fine.
That.
It's fine. I'm tired.
You've tried.
I'm tired.
I had a rough day.
Yeah,
because you had a bad day.
I won't go into it on air, but I told you guys.
We are going to draft tonight in honor of this movie, which was an event movies. And so, you can, again, define it different ways. But in my mind, these are movies that, like, the hype behind them and the stuff you heard ahead of time was so big that, like, you couldn't miss it. You wanted to see it in the theater. If you didn't see it, you were going to maybe hear about it, and you didn't want to do that because it's going to maybe ruin it. And there's a lot of movies that kind of fit that, some more than others. And so I'm going to pick first, followed by Pete and Gif. Anything you want to add to how you defined it, or?
So for me, I kind of limited it to the years, say like 91 to say like 05, because am I not on?
We lost you for a second. So
sorry.
We heard
you said 91, and then for me, I lost you
to about 05 because I was going to a lot of movies then. So even if there was movies that I really wanted to see, I probably wasn't going to go to the theater for them because I couldn't drive there yet. So that's kind of where I'm at as far as that time frame. I got a few that are outside of it on either side, but those are kind of my years.
I don't remember if I put it in the rules when I brought it up, but like I don't think did I put that you couldn't go before we were alive, because I don't have Jaws on my list, because we weren't alive for that. That's not.
I thought about that. I have it on my list in case I want to choose it, because it is basically my favorite movie of all time. Yeah. And you could even say Jaws a month ago. What the re-release.
It was an event for me and my wife. She wanted to see it so bad,
and we wanted to go. Yeah, so
that makes that one a little bit then different because it was actually just out again. Okay, so anyway, I just wanted to see. I wouldn't have gone back before that, but I'm similar to what Gifford said.
Yeah, it's more like what was I just couldn't wait to see. Like, and as soon as it came out, I was going to go sit in the theater and watch this movie.
And because of the hype that drove you to see the movie. Right. That's what I kind of went.
I had two movies at the top of my list, and we've done both on our show.
You're only going to pick one.
and the one that I'm going to pick is kind of what Gifford said, because I was old enough to I was older when this one came out, and I was able to plan it myself and the group I went with. So we did a very, very good episode on the Blair Witch Project, and that's my pick. And so when that movie came out, the hype was insane, and me and my wife and our friend Dave again and his wife were going to go. And I went down on a Friday morning to the Uptown Theater, and I got there because they're like, you should go buy tickets ahead of time. Like, just go down there and buy the tickets. So yeah, sure, I'll go do that. I get down there, and there is a line 2 blocks around the corner outside the theater. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And we don't have cell phones in 1999.
Mm-hmm.
So I go across the street to the McDonald's, and I somehow call Dave, and it's like, should I get in this line, or can you come meet me and hang out with me? Because I think I'm going to be here for hours. And I got through to him. I mean, it's crazy, this time period without cell phones. I got through to him, and eventually I went in line. And once the line moved, once they started selling, it went really fast, actually. And then so I ended up waiting around after I got the tickets in that McDonald's for Dave to show up because I didn't want to leave him. But then we went that night, and oh my God, it was so fun in that theater. It was so creepy walking back to the car afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
And so as a 23-year-old, when that came out, that was just, and you can go listen to our episode and all the great stuff they did to hype that up. that's got to be my number one pick because of what I literally experienced myself. It's the definition of this draft right here.
Not only that, but the hype around it, like you thought it was real. Like a lot of people thought it was based on a true story, and and this was before, like everybody now knows about viral marketing and things that are online. This was just the birth of the internet, basically. And so when they started putting all this stuff out, you didn't know what was real. And it was just assumed.
It was a new format. It was found footage.
Yeah.
Format.
Yeah.
So
a whole footage that became a thing, a genre after this.
Yep. Exactly. Great pick.
You can go listen to that in more detail, please, on our older episode.
That absolutely, Brad, by the way, was my number one pick. And I was looking, I didn't think that you were going to take that number one. And so that was a huge snipe.
Glad I did.
I thought you might take something else.
Yeah, well, I'm
going to take one, Brad. I believe that you saw this movie fairly recently, but I remember the hype around it. I remember going to see it, and it lived up to the expectations. The best sequel of all time, Terminator 2: Judgment Day.
I did watch it just recently. Finally.
Pete, this was the first movie that I wrote down.
Really?
When we started doing this draft. So phenomenal pick. If again, like sometimes I get pissed when you guys snipe my picks, but I'm cool with this because it deserves to be that far up. And now it makes my pick that much easier because there was two actually there was three that I really, really wanted. T2 was one of them. I'm going to go with Jurassic Park. I mean, that came out in 93. So I'm able to drive, I can plan my own stuff and waiting to go see that. And the commercials, they did such a great job of, hiding the T-Rex. You got to see the foot, I think was about it. And it was just amazing. And you knew it was going to be good. Spielberg is amazing.
So I remember going to see it. I can picture going into the Marshall Theater to see that movie with Josh Griebel, my friend. And, that was a great choice, and just seeing those dinosaurs for the first time was just like, oh my god, I can't believe this.
You felt like Laura Dern, like when she gasps and like stands up from in the Jeep. It's just like, holy crap! I mean, it was amazing.
All right, well, I can't.
Still holds up to this day, that movie.
Yeah, I can't believe that I'm getting my top two choices here, and that this one fell to me. So I couldn't drive to the movie theater for this one, but we talked about this on our show and the hype around this, and I was 13 years old, so plenty old enough. The 89 Batman is my number two choice, and the excitement I had to go to that movie, my brother and his friend took me to that movie, was just off the charts. And I was a Michael Keaton fan already at that time from other things. So those are the top two. The first two I thought of right away, and I can't believe I got them both. So that's awesome.
I thought Batman was going to be your first.
I did too, but then I'm like, but I explained it was more of a thing with the Blair Witch Project. So
when for me, I had my top three are T2, Batman, and Jurassic Park. So I like how this draft is going thus far, and Blair Witch is like you say, it defines the draft for tonight.
The movie that I'm going to take definitely fits the bill as being an event movie. Loved it at the time. I remember going to see it, being excited to go see it, and was very happy with it. Watched it again with the kids a couple of years ago, and I couldn't believe how poorly it had aged. And I just thought it was. I watched it again. I thought it was terrible, but because it served its purpose, I put it on my list. I'm talking about Independence Day.
I have it on my list, Pete.
I do too, but I haven't seen it since like that time, so I don't know
when
how
you watch
good
it again. It's like, oh my god, the acting is terrible, the lines are terrible, the storyline is ridiculous. Like even obviously, it's like outlandish, but just how it all unfolds is just.
It was a big deal though.
Yeah.
My question is, are you going to find 5 movies that end in day?
Right.
Groundhog Day, maybe.
That's a good point. Yeah, there you go.
Will Smith was like the summer blockbuster guy, right? I mean, he had Independence Day, and MIB.
But those came out. This is the one that made that. Like he wasn't going into this movie.
No, but I mean, he's still. I mean, it was such a huge deal. And of
Okay,
course,
so
you know,
I
it's-
will not
it's my
bother watching
birthday.
that again. Then is this?
No,
is the lesson to take
don't.
away?
No,
Will
it's
Smith
not.
movies
it's not
really
worth your
slap.
Yes. Very well said, Pete.
Oh,
Very
that's
well
a good
said.
one. We
Thank
should
you.
just shut this off right now. That was good. Pete's out of here.
All right. So this one for me was it's a reimagining, it's a reboot. And I loved this series growing up. My dad was a huge Bond guy, and I loved the Bond movies because of it. So when GoldenEye came out, that was like I could not wait to get to the movie theater to watch GoldenEye. And little did I know that the GoldenEye game for N64 was going to be as huge as it was in my life as it was for a lot of people. But GoldenEye and the Bond reboot after many, many years was a pretty big deal for me.
I even saw that one in the movie theater. I remember, probably with Pete and Griebel, I think.
Probably.
All right. Well, I don't know if either of you were planning to take this anytime soon. I don't really want to go from the same series, but I'm taking The Dark Knight next because of everything we've said tonight. It's got to get picked here soon. And when I look at my options, this was the next biggest event. Like, there's movies you're excited to see, but this one was the event, and the way I saw it was an event. So, Dark Knight, my number 3.
All right. My next one, it's a huge franchise, but this particular movie I remember because the earlier ones I didn't really remember as a kid. I didn't go see them in the theater. Of course, I've seen them later. But the one I remember being super excited to go see because I was just coming to the right age to enjoy it was Return of the Jedi. Obviously, a lot of hype around it.
Yep.
And
we've done a episode.
We have done an episode. Yes. I looked at some of the newer Star Wars movies, but they don't hold up to the original 3. Return of the Jedi is the one I personally remember seeing in the theater.
But
so
as event movies, though, they might hold up very well on this list here tonight, whether like Independence Day. Come on, The Phantom Menace is
just god awful.
What is that jingling bell noise that I keep hearing? Are you guys getting that?
No,
I don't know what it is. I don't hear it. I mean,
it could be Santa's sleigh.
You serious, Clark? Gifford, what's your pick?
All right, so this was one I remember it came out over Christmas. I went to it with a bunch of my cousins, loaded a bunch of them up, and we went to the Marshall Theater over Christmas break. We would have been freshmen in college at this time. Ace Ventura and The Mask had come out earlier in the same year, and Jim Carrey was absolutely on fire in '94. So, and I was not disappointed. To me, minute for minute, still the funniest movie. That is Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, I didn't think of it as an event movie, but I know that for you that would fit, and it was.
Yeah.
It was a big deal. And you're right, because it was the third of his movies in that year, that sets up that hype.
Yep.
To make it a big deal.
Yep. And I don't think anybody was expecting it to do what it did, but I mean the Farrelly brothers were, this was their coming out party, and it was amazing.
All right. Well, I'm getting my top 4 that I wrote down. This one might be the least, loved movie, or people might act like they don't love it. But this was like one of the biggest events of all time, and that's Titanic. I'm taking next.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody was going to see it, and you heard nothing about this movie, or nothing but anything about this movie for like months ahead of time, and how much money it cost, and how cool it was going to be, or was it going to be terrible and a big bomb? And then you went, and it was freaking cool. Like, whether you like the love story or not, it was cool to see this thing on screen and see the sinking at the end. And I saw it actually 3 times, I think, at the movie theater. With different people.
Yeah.
So
I went that movie does hold up. I saw this a couple of years ago with my daughter, and she loves it. I still enjoy it. It's a great movie.
There's nothing wrong with that movie. It's a good movie.
Oh God, no. It's cinematically amazing. Courtney and I were talking about this one last night, and I went to this with her at Harmar when I was, at the University of Minnesota. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't. I mean, you can't argue how big of a movie it was.
The Harmar.
It might be the last. Titanic is probably the last like big movie with that kind of special effects. It didn't use CGI, so I think it kind of it was before, wasn't it? Like
didn't we just kind
before,
of see
like,
the Dark Knight
CGI?
fit that, Bill?
Yeah, Dark
Yeah,
Knight fit it
yeah,
pretty well,
but
there's
But you're
It's
right.
pretty amazing.
it's and that's part of the reason it's so good. Is because the special effects are at its peak before hitting CGI the way we have it today. So,
Pete, number 4.
I'm just realizing that I should have pronounced my last pick Return of the Jedi, because then I would have had 3 days.
Oh, very good.
But I don't have it. I don't have another day movie anyway. But my favorite movie as a kid, for sure, and it's definitely an event movie. One of the ways you could define this is, was it marketed in things like Happy Meals, in board games, merchandising? I'm going with Ghostbusters.
Right, very nice.
Loved it. Another movie that we have done.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
Gifford?
Okay, I am going back to 2003, so this is kind of towards the end of my, whereas like I got to see this movie. I'm going to it in the theater. A good group of us did go to this in the theater. Quentin Tarantino came out with the volume 1 of Kill Bill in 2003, and could not wait to see what he was going to come up with next.
Talk about the marketing for that movie too. I mean, how they put that. That was another movie that was just everywhere, and everyone was talking about it at the time.
All right, I got a lot of good ones to choose from for my last pick, but I'm going to go with the one that, like, for me, at that time, this was huge. And we had to go on like opening night. It's maybe not the best movie on the list, but it's one of the funniest. And there was a lot of hype because we've been watching these sketches for a couple of years. And Wayne's World is my number 5. And you got in your car and rode to that. And then you felt like them when they're listening to Bohemian Rhapsody in their car. You're right there with them. And I mean, as 16-year-olds, when that came out, that was like the biggest thing. And plus, we had just gotten our driver's license. Like, that movie came out right after I got my driver's license. It might have been one of the first movies I ever drove to. I don't know for sure, but
and a Ford Escort hatchback does have a little bit of resemblance to the Gremlin, a little bit, but
a little bit.
Yeah. So I see where you're coming from there, Wayne. Oh, you got Courtney's vote, by the way.
Oh, good.
Titanic and Wayne's World.
You say that, but I haven't seen her actually vote for anything in quite a while. So
I'll have to get on that a little bit.
All right. Certainly one of our family's most favorite trilogies of all time, because no other movies have been picked. I can just take the whole trilogy, but I guess I'll take the first one. Back to the Future, definitely an event movie, and it became more and more of an event, with the sequels, I think. But in my opinion, the first one was the best, most enjoyable. So that's what I'm going with.
Yeah, it's the best, obviously, but I would put 2 as the event movie for me, because that's the one like that.
Probably right.
It's been 5 years, and like so the hype for what they're going to do is what I would say for the best choice there. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't matter because it
still qualifies.
Yep. All right, so this one I've told the story in the past and wanted to go see this very badly. Went to the Marshall Theater to see it. It's R-rated. We're in high school. Ooh. And the guy doing the tickets wouldn't let us in because we weren't 18. We needed a note from our parents. So
did you flash your legs open at him?
No, I did not.
Is that not the movie you're talking about?
No.
Oh, I thought. Well, Basic Instinct. I thought was going to be.
Yeah, I thought so too. But
I don't have it on my list. But that was an event, and exactly for what you just.
Now that question just seems awkward.
For whatever reason, I remember it as me, Bruce, and Bo, and they said we couldn't get in, and so we needed a note from our parents. So we went to a convenience store, got pen and paper, and wrote a note for ourselves to get into the movie, so that we could go see. White Men Can't Jump.
Yep, I knew
that. Needed to see that movie, and was not disappointed.
I don't know about the event, but that's a good story.
Yeah, I mean, you said when you said what it was that we were doing, it was like, what were the movies you couldn't wait to see? So that's where I was coming from.
Well, that's why I'm glad that you told that story, because it made me think of Basic Instinct, which
Yep.
They were hardcore checking IDs there. But when I went to that with Jamie Norgard and Tina, I walked right in. We lucked out that night. We walked right in. They didn't stop us, and we got to watch this really awesome movie. So
it's a great movie,
and I felt so cool.
You take the nudity out of that movie, and it's still it's a great movie. It's a great thriller. Yeah,
I like it a lot. Mm-hmm. Well, that was a fun draft. Yeah, here I got. So the rest of these maybe weren't as big of a deal, or some of these were event movies that I didn't really see as events. But one good example would be Toy Story. I did go see that in the movie theater. I remember going with Dave and some college friends. It was the first Pixar movie. It's like, what is this new animation? Yes. That was a big deal. I really wanted to pick, but I think my 5 were better for me. But Gone Girl was a pretty big event too, because that was such a big book, and there was so much hype about the casting of who was going to play. And then the movie, as we did an episode on, the movie was freaking awesome.
Unbelievable.
And my wife and I went to that right away. That was awesome. Same summer as the Blair Witch Project, me and my wife and Dave and Sonia, we also went and saw Eyes Wide Shut, which another movie, which is kind of like Basic Instinct, total, but it's Stanley Kubrick. It's this orgy scene everybody's talking about. It's Tom and Nicole, and there's so much about that movie out there. It was a huge, huge deal. And then some people hated it, and I actually thought it was pretty damn good. I liked it a lot. So that was another one. Same summer, American Pie came out. That's another good one.
There you go.
That was like the rebirth of those teen raunchy comedies. Everybody wanted to go see it.
Yep.
But 2 years before that was There's Something About Mary, which was a raunchy comedy, which took everybody by storm. I think Field of Dreams kind of fits this. That was a big one where there was so much talk about, there was hype about what was going on there. And Kevin Costner, of course, was huge at the time.
Huge. Yep.
I had Jerry Maguire on my list. I remember that being a huge deal. You wanted to go see that right away because, Tom Cruise. Another one that we did an episode on that for me was huge, but was The Truman Show. Jim Carrey playing like this great role. It's a little more serious. It's an Oscar movie. That was a big one. I think you got to mention The Phantom Menace and The Force Awakens. Whether you like them or not, those were, when they reboot those are just enormous.
I remember for that one, I went, it was me and my 3 roommates, 1999. We went to a midnight showing at a brand new theater. I don't think anybody else knew that the theater was there. We were in there, I think, with 2 other people. And
that's 1999 too. What a summer. And that was, and I know that I have a book actually, 1999, the best year ever of movies that I've read. But as we go through these, we just named like 6 amazing movies from that year, or big, huge movies at least. I got Avengers and Avengers Endgame. And then the last one, which I do remember this being a really big deal, was Pirates of the Caribbean, because the Johnny Depp thing, that kind of took everybody by storm too. That's my list. What I miss.
I got Raiders of the Lost Ark. Brad, I know that's not familiar to you.
Yes, it is.
I'm going with E.T., Lion King.
Oh, yeah, Lion King.
I don't think we mentioned Harry Potter at all, did we?
No, but especially like the last one. That'd be great, because once it got to the end of the series, like everybody had to go to those right away. Good one.
Spider-Man.
Yes.
I think these other ones have been said. Oh, well, Joker. And then Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah, a lot of hype.
Yeah. Not the biggest event movies.
The duo, Barbenheimer, that was huge.
You guys mentioned Toy Story and The Lion King. I remember Aladdin. Going to Marshall Theater for Aladdin. That was like huge.
We loved that movie.
So funny, and absolutely love that one. The first Mission Impossible with Tom Cruise.
Yeah,
that was absolutely massive for me.
I should have had all the new ones too, and like the last one.
Yeah,
the last one was an event. I loved those movies. I can't believe I didn't think of that.
Saving Private Ryan had a little bit of a hype around it.
Yep.
The first Scream movie. That was huge. Like, I remember going to watch that in Morris, the one little theater in Morris, and watching Scream. The Matrix movie. Like, that was, a shift in visual effects. People didn't really know what the heck was going on with it. I remember sitting in it and trying to figure out what the hell was happening, how anything is possible in this. had to go see that as soon as it came out. True Lies. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger was that 90.
94.
94. I mean,
you know, that's a difficult one to find on streaming. We've tried to watch it, but you can't find it. At least when we checked, you couldn't find it on Prime or Netflix or any of them.
Okay, yeah, it'd be nice to watch it again. I love that one. Apollo 13. You know, Tom Hanks is massive at this time.
Yeah, I mean that's your third year in a row.
Program.
Well, actually, I forgot. I had Forrest Gump way high on my list, and I missed it.
So I saw Forrest Gump, and I'm like, I don't remember.
I do. Here's the thing. See it. Here's the thing that made that was they had those scenes where he was like talking to JFK, and they had used that technology. That was like the thing that made it special, and like you got to go see it. Aside from the fact that it was, you know, Tom Hanks and probably going to be a great movie. But that was the thing that set that apart, and I remember that as I looked at it.
Okay. I mean, I love the movie. I owned it on VHS for crying out loud and seen it a million times, but I don't remember like, oh, I got to go see this right away. The Rock.
Movie theater too.
Nice. The Rock. That was massive when that came out. I love Sean Connery. The Godzilla movie from 98. So again, another creature movie. You wanted to see how they were going to put this thing together. I remember being very excited about that one. The X-Men movie, when they brought that up, you know, with Hugh Jackman, I wanted to see, like, I'm not a big comic book guy, but I like the comic book movies. So that was huge for me. The Ocean's 11 remake, was really excited to see that.
Yeah.
Amazing cast, obviously. The newest one on my list, and not necessarily like huge event, go to the movie theater, but I got Hulu specifically because Prey came out on a particular day. I signed up for Hulu because that was the newest installment for the Predator series, and that movie does not disappoint. I think I've rewatched it 4 times. It's absolutely amazing. And the last one I have is Tin Cup, because I love Bull Durham so much, and now you have Costner coming back to that goofy kind of sports character, and I could not wait to see that movie when it came.
Yeah, maybe not widespread, but I agree with you on that too. I couldn't wait to go see that movie as a golf fan and a Kevin Costner fan and all that. And we have a great episode about that movie out there too.
We do, and Bull Durham.
Yep.
So yeah, so I was looking at not so much as the blockbusters, but the movies. I had to go see these movies as soon as they came out.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, Pete, you got anything for us next week yet?
Well, we're going to talk about what the schedule for next week is going to look like. So I don't know how that's going to unfold. If we're going to talk about
okay. Behind the scenes. Okay.
We'll talk off there about some scheduling conflicts and how we're going to rearrange. I didn't know. So we'll figure that out. Keep checking the schedule, and we're going to
there'll be an episode.
Some scheduling concerns. Yes, there'll be an episode. What format we'll discuss, but but I was just going to ask Gifford a question.
Yeah, well, what's that, Pete?
What band is the biggest event band of all time?
If you're at the Turf Club, that's Preacher Row. If you're looking at a big event at the Turf Club, yeah, that's Preacher Row.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.
No one's here to comfort me. Sorry for what I have done. Sorry that your son is gone. 7 steps and it will be my last. Hands tied, tell me on my plan. I turn and I look to you. there's nothing I can do.